I think, being able to educate the public and say, this business can do, I mean, this organization can do this for you. Trying to get that information out to them is where we struggle a lot. But we do our best, and we always kind of equate all of our memberships, your membership, our membership, to a gym membership, right?
Right.
In that, you can pay for that gym membership, but if you're not going to the gym, you're not going to get those results. So we have to find ways to get them to engage and to participate so that they can get the full benefit of everything that we're all offering.
Welcome to United We Podcast, the official podcast of the United Corpus Christi Chamber of Commerce, the only chamber podcast in South Texas. I'm your host, Al Ariola Jr., and we're here to explore the latest business insights, community stories, and opportunities shaping the coastal bend. Whether you're a business owner or just passionate about our region, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Once again, welcome back, Chamber family and friends, to United We Podcast. Today we are joined by Katie Galan of the Better Business Bureau of, is it the Coastal Bend or South Texas?
Better Business Bureau, serving the heart of Texas.
Serving the heart of Texas. Well, thank you for correcting me. Thank you for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
How are you?
I'm good. Thank you.
Well, Katie, I know you're no stranger to interviews and also video segments and educating folks on what's going on with business, what's going on with, especially more recently, cybersecurity threats. Before we get into that, I have to go there. Is you guys are the ones that get the calls, right? That what's going on with a business complaint, so to speak. Here at the chamber, we get a lot of random calls too, and a lot of times it is kind of like we have to end up referring them to y'all. Can you give folks just I guess an umbrella of what's going on with the Better Business Bureau, what the Better Business Bureau is?
Yeah, so you are correct in a way, right?
Right.
So a lot of people think of us sort of as like the business police, and we kind of we serve that purpose in a way.
Sure.
So of course, if you have a complaint, with a business, we take those complaints. We have a very unique complaint process though. When those come through, we screen them, so we don't take every single complaint. It has to be a legitimate marketplace complaint. And then we work as a third-party mediator to kind of ensure that that's taken care of and those complaints don't just hang out there. So that way, and it's good for the business and for the consumer. So of course, yes, we definitely take the complaints. We also have our accreditation, of course, our BBB accreditation. So we are a nonprofit organization, have been around for over 120 years, if you can believe that.
Yep.
But we are a standards-based membership organization, meaning you don't just simply pay for your accreditation. There are certain standards that you have to meet and a lot of checks that we have to go through before businesses can be accredited. So then so of course our accreditation, and then we offer different types of business resources for businesses, and we are able to connect them also to organizations such as the chamber, and we offer a lot of different things to help businesses kind of thrive in our marketplace.
Well, I don't know if you can go there. There's certainly been complaints that I can imagine are egregious and worth looking into. I'm sure, especially when you see a mass quantity of complaints. Has there been a funny one that you're like, I just can't help you?
So I don't personally take the complaints,
Okay.
but we do have, so some of those that would not pass that screening process
There you go.
would be, I walked into this store and this was my husband's ex,
Exactly.
ex whatever, and she looked at me and we're like, we're not going to take that complaint. We're not taking that.
That's where I was going there. I've had letters sent to the chamber, and it was a lot like
Yeah.
that. Like my ex-boyfriend this, my ex-boyfriend that. I'm like,
Yeah,
okay,
we
this
can't
is
do
not about the business, is it?
No.
No.
Definitely not.
Well, look, I know you also make your rounds and help educate, again, business, get them acclimated with pertinent concerns in the business market. Maybe if we want to just dive into it, cyber is certainly one of those, and that's a loaded term in itself when you say cyber threats, right? Can you, I guess, say what resources BBB has, and then I wanted to ask you some more pointed questions about what you maybe see specifically in our market, but the cyber threats, what are they right now?
So we see these in a couple of different ways. The kind of the most, I don't want to say popular, but what we're
Sure.
seeing the most of right now is it's a scam where those who are in kind of who deal with the billing of the company are receiving invoices, and they're so inundated because a lot of times the scammers are going to target these really small organizations or businesses that are just moving and shaking really fast. A lot of times the person that's paying the invoices wears multiple hats. So they're too busy to really check those invoices that are coming in. And so that's what it is. It's these fake invoices that are coming that look like they're from one of their legitimate vendors, and then they end up, paying the scammer. And so there is a case that we looked at that we heard of from the FBI, and it was a very small business, and they ended up sending the scammer about $500,000 before it was detected that it was a scam. And so that is such a significant amount of money for any business, but especially for our small businesses, that can tank a business. So really important, that we try to educate businesses on these threats and what's going on there. So, but that's definitely the biggest way that we're seeing those threats happening.
So it's so to speak in your inbox kind of threats.
Yeah, so it looks like it's coming from your actual vendor. And actually, what happened with this particular case was they were getting multiple invoices, and it was saying things like, "We changed our ACH information, our banking information. So here's the new information that you need to send to." And so they, without thinking twice, because they've worked with these people before, they went ahead and updated their information. And then I think they paid about 3 or 4 invoices before it was detected. And so what happened is the actual vendor called and said, "Hey, we haven't
got paid."
received,
Oh, wow.
we haven't gotten paid. Yeah, we haven't received our money." And they're like, "We've just sent you about $500,000." And that's how it was detected.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
yeah.
Any other kind of conversations that you've had to navigate in this space too?
So we also see some things come through that say, and this is funny. This actually happened to my sister at her organization, but this is another big thing that we see all over, is that the employees, the staff, is going to receive. Let's say it's the chamber. Your staff is going to receive an email saying, "Hey," or a text message saying, "Hey, it's Al. I'm running. I need you guys to go run out and get me some gift cards. We're putting some things together, whatever that may be. Can somebody go and get these gift cards for me? Send me those numbers so I can purchase X, Y, and Z." And of course, it's not coming from you, it's coming from a scammer, but your staff thinks that it's coming from you, and they want to act quickly because you're the boss, right? So nobody wants to
Well,
disappoint.
I'm not going
So.
to throw shade on my staff, but might not happen that day.
Well, I'll stay away from that one. But yeah, but that's another one that we're seeing a lot of. Is it's kind of your typical imposter scam, but it's coming from the boss.
Well, speaking of my staff and my team, you are incredibly involved
Mhm.
in the team volunteer level and our committees. You've been involved in our economic empowerment committee, our education and vocation committee, and correct me if I'm wrong. You went through leadership Corpus Christi.
I did. I
Yeah.
just graduated, class 53, best class ever.
I was expecting that tagline. Well, you know what? Do you want to share some of your experiences through that? How you enjoyed it? How's it been
Leadership.
helpful?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was a great experience. I was really excited to join this class. A couple of the people that were in the class, I knew them, but there were most of the class I didn't know. So it was really cool to be able to kind of merge with those the other leaders in our community. But it was also just a really great experience in getting to kind of see the back end of things that we as the general public don't generally get to see.
Sure.
So get to, kind of getting to understand the ins and outs of, city and county, county government and city government. Some different aspects of economic development that we don't always get to see. So it was a really, really enlightening experience, and something that I think will kind of help me in, all of the things that I do, not just with BBB, but the other organizations that I'm a part of too.
Sure. Well, and back to you also being engaged in our committees, and thank you for that. Um, I should say it shouldn't go without saying that you've been a valuable partner through BBB, but you've also been a great chamber member. It's one thing that certainly be a part of the chamber, and then we don't see you. You are a part of your chamber of commerce. You're involved in the committees. You're involved in the LCC. On the committee level, what keeps you engaged? Why are you so involved?
Yeah, so we, BBB and the chamber, although we are different entities who offer different products and services, we serve the same business community.
Yeah.
And so your goals align a lot with our goals at BBB. So it's really important that I am involved with you guys to help you in your mission, because that's also helping our customers too. And so you guys, of course, are doing such great work, and you're so huge in our community and so instrumental to our small business community here in Corpus Christi, that I absolutely want to be involved in anything that I can to help push that along, because that at the end of the day is also BBB's goal. So
Well, so you're speaking of small business, the backbone of the coastal bend, the backbone of America, right? They certainly need products and services like you described. We fulfill some level of services, so do you. Right now, where do you think there is a gap? Like, where is it that businesses are challenged, or maybe where is it that we should develop more resources? Or, and like I said, you're involved in our committee that we know we're still examining, soul searching, like business resource guides. What could those look like, especially at this day and age? It doesn't need to necessarily just be a printed PDF, but like what does that kind of content look like to really help small businesses? Where, back to my question, I guess, is where do you feel there are some challenges, issues? Is it access to capital? Is it right now the global markets? What do you feel?
access to capital is always going to be that big issue for our businesses. And this is what we hear from them all the time. They're constantly looking for funding options and funding opportunities. And so we definitely try to help. Excuse me, try to help guide them to those resources, but that is always going to be the big thing. But something that I tell businesses all the time when I'm having consultations with them is, they come and say, I need help with marketing. I don't know where to go. I need help looking for, for the funding or whatever, or networking, whatever it may be. And I'm always telling them, okay, this is where you're going to go. And the one thing that people always say to me is, I didn't know that that was there. I
Right.
didn't know that that existed. So we have plenty of resources. There are so many business organizations and business partners here in our area. And I think that there's just kind of a little bit of a lack of knowledge on the business's part. So that's something that we struggle with a lot, is trying to reach out to them and provide these, tell them that these are the resources that are available to you. And so, just like you mentioned, we work very closely with you guys. We work with all of the business partners in our area. And I think something that we always talk about when we get together to meet and kind of figure out how to tackle the problems of our business community is, one thing that we always say to each other and mention is that not one of us ever pretends to be everything to every business. We all offer different products and services, and we all come together to try to offer that comprehensive solution to our business needs. And so I think, being able to educate the public and say, this business can do, I mean, this organization can do this for you. Trying to get that information out to them is where we struggle a lot. But we do our best, and kind of, and we always kind of equate all of our memberships, your membership, our membership, to a gym membership, right?
Right.
In that, you can pay for that gym membership, but if you're not going to the gym, you're not going to get those results. So we have to find ways to get them to engage and to participate so that they can get the full benefit of everything that we're all offering.
Well, and you said that well, that not all of us recognize that we can't be everything to everyone. Or how about this too? Maybe sometimes we think we could be everything to everyone, and then we recognize that no, maybe there is a lane that someone else can fill that space better. And so I want to thank you for all you do for our business community and our partners. And to your point, collaboration, bringing folks in the room, getting our heads together. Okay, we're clearly missing a mark. How do we elevate the messaging? How do we connect? What do you think is our challenge? Because it is challenging to connect to small businesses. They are so, and I guess I'm answering my own question. They're so in their business
Right.
that it's hard to get out of their business, so to speak.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, and that is definitely another problem that we see. So a lot of times I'm connecting with them and saying, "Hey, we're having this event, or we're having this, educational opportunity or whatever." And it's like, I can't get away,
Right.
because our bread and butter, at least at BBB, is definitely kind of the mom and pop small businesses, and they have to wear all of the hats.
Right.
So they can't afford a lot of times to take off. Can't afford to take off 8 hours in their workday.
Right.
A lot of times it's hard to get them to take off 2 or 3 hours. So that is definitely a big struggle. In that we have to try to meet them where they are.
Right.
But what does that look like?
Exactly.
So that's where we struggle too.
Yeah, and with mom and pops, like you mentioned, that you said it so well, is that they're wearing all hats. They're the marketer, they're the CEO,
Yeah.
sometimes they're the waiter, sometimes they're the cook. They're all of the above, and where's the time to, I'm gonna go learn something when it feels like they're learning daily, that a daily challenge, so to speak, that they're faced with. Well, Katie, I can't thank you again enough for your partnership. I can't thank you enough for your continued support in the small business space, which is something we're going to continue to work harder in. And again, thank you for helping us get there. I want to encourage our audience too that if you're especially curious about business. I think I should shout out Hope on this one. The one thing that we've done well, and I know you've been helpful to her too, small business procurement opportunities with industry, like connecting the giants, so to speak, with the smaller businesses, so that there is a trickle down residual impact on the economy from big business to small business. And so a lot of great work in that space. And I know you've been helpful in volunteering there too. So thank you for that. I think I'm already getting to my closing point here on time. Is there some remarks you want to share before we leave? Some remarks regarding BBB or Katie Galan herself? If you want to say anything?
Well, I definitely want to remind folks of the resources that we provide. As far as, of course, we have all the business resources, that, and you can find all that information on our website, which is bbb.org. But all of our scam prevention tools and ID protection. This is we could sit here for another 2 hours and just talk about all of the scams and all of the huge problems that we're seeing in that area. So we do have some resources on our website that I want to remind folks about. One is our BBB scam tracker, where people can go and report the scams, and that's what we use for all of our reporting. That's what we turn into law enforcement as well. So definitely want to encourage folks to use that. We also have a scam prevention guide, so you can go in there and kind of test your scam knowledge. There's quizzes on there that you can go and test. There's basically kind of like a glossary of scam terminology, so you can familiarize yourself with what's going on. And then we also have a scam survival toolkit. So this is where you go if you've already been the victim, you or your business, and are really proud of our international organization for teaming up with mental health professionals to create this page. They were really careful in making sure that the imagery, that the wording was not victim blaming in any way.
Sure.
Because whether you lost $100 or $10,000, the implications can be the same, depending on where you're at.
Sure.
And so we have that survival toolkit. So it gives you all the steps to try to get things back on track. We also offer ways for you to find mental health professionals if that's something that you need. So those are all things that we have there on our website that I just wanted to remind people about.
Well, those are like great tools, and especially the latter on that one is that it could be real easy to make somebody feel, I don't want to say dumb, but like
absolutely
like broken and beaten, right?
Absolutely.
No, that's a great approach. Well, Katie, again, thank you for those resources. Thank you for your partnership, and I want to thank you for joining us today. I also want to thank our audience. We'll see you again next time.